plot is about two best friends. One of them goes through a pretty bitter divorce, and his take on women and marriage in general seeps into the mind of his very happily married best friend. And then it becomes more of an unraveling of his own insecurities. He starts suspecting his wife is unfaithful, and it turns into a dark comedy. Once you're in a relationship for a while, you can't help but get that content feeling. You're just content in the relationship. In the beginning, you're trying to impress the other. It's more exciting on a lot of levels, intellectually, sexually, emotionally. But as time goes on and it becomes not as much romantic, more practical, your relationship, marriage in general, kids, bills, you fall into this content feeling. Hence, the term for that content feeling is the Putt Putt Syndrome.
Good afternoon. So everybody on their toes. Here we go. Rehearsals.
Allen actually called us in November, called my partner Renee, and asked him if he was still working on independent film. And Renee actually, I was on the other, in the other room, and Renee told him, I'm really not working in independent film. We're doing animation at the time. And then he hung up the phone. And I asked him, I was like, who was that? And he said, well, some guy was just calling me from, out of the blue, from Maine, some posting that I did like 9 years ago that nobody ever called me from. And I was like, you hung up? Out of the blue, and you hung up? And he's like, well, I guess you're right. Let me give it I'm going to call him back.
We're putting Winthrop on the map.